maybe just playing with the food, creating stuff. I think it's the enjoyment everybody gets when you put it on the table. Nothing makes somebody happy like a good meal. So at the end of the day, there's one thing my husband cares about, it's his dinner. Everybody makes fun of him for that. It's just, you feel good. You sit around the table, eat good food, you have good conversation, nice bottle of wine. It's the best part. What's not to like about living in Arizona? The weather's always like this. We live where people vacation. Just one big playground. You can always be outside. Love to be outside. It's just beautiful. Climbing this mountain and cooking and being with the kids and my husband, family, it's really what it's all about.
You look great. What are you talking about? We will get this best fish dish competition started between Gina and Judy right after a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to our best fish dish competition right here on the Valley Dish. I'm your host, Tram-Mai. Judy and Gina will have 10 minutes from start to finish to create their meals. Both recipes are on our website, valleydish.azcentral.com. Let's show you what they are going to be using for their dishes. And we're going to start with Judy, her pan-seared salmon with basil, pine nuts, and spinach. She's using 2 6-ounce skinless salmon fillets, a little olive oil, some fresh ground pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic, a half a cup of pine nuts, 2 tablespoons of basil, 1 bag of baby spinach, grated Parmesan cheese to taste, 2 tablespoons of pesto, and a few lemon wedges. Over on Gina's side for her pan-seared halibut over sauteed spinach topped with
a-moy-gyu.
A-moy-gyu sauce. You're going to need 1-inch thick halibut fillet, 10 cups of fresh spinach, 3/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 6 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 cup of white wine, 1/4 cup of chicken stock, 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, 15 oil-cured olives, half of a lemon. For the a-moy-gyu sauce, you'll need 5 Roma tomatoes, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1/4 of a lemon, garlic to taste, salt and pepper to taste, and 4 fresh basil leaves. Are you ladies ready? All right, I'm going to just step around you, and your 10-minute starts right now. You know, in reading all your recipes, it reminded me of last week's Mardi Gras dish, how I just had, you know, pages to read. But anyways, okay, so you just started putting some of that granulated garlic, I see.
Garlic powder.
Garlic powder onto your halibut, along with some of the black pepper. You are already putting your salmon onto the olive oil skillet here.
Yes.
And I noticed, though, in your recipe, Judy, you only used the ground pepper, fresh ground pepper on your salmon. No salt?
Nope.
Very interesting. Why not?
I don't like to use a lot of salt. And most food, if you have enough seasoning in it, it tastes just as good.
Okay. I noticed you put a lid on top of your halibut. Is that to create a bit of an oven effect?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll cook it up a little bit faster.
Right. And you didn't mince your garlic. You just
I just chopped it. This is all very rustic.
Very rustic. And how would you describe yours, Judy?
Simple. Real simple.
Simple versus rustic. What did you just add in here?
This is the garlic that I use. It is Garden Gourmet. It's already done for you.
I want to see this. I have not seen this kind of a garlic before.
This is wonderful.
Chunky garlic.
And it's in your produce section.
You know, it's like a puree.
It is. It's almost like if you were to crush your garlic. And it's got a little bit of extra seasoning in it. And they have it in basil, ginger, and several other flavors.
Very interesting. Okay. Quick, rough chop, again, very rustic on the Roma tomatoes. Why the Roma tomatoes?
Well, I just think that the Romas have the best flavor. And it's just like a Italian salsa.
Yeah.
And you can use other tomatoes. I just think you get the best flavor from the Romas. I just squeeze out some of the seeds so it doesn't get too saucy.
Yeah,
a little thicker.
Without the seeds. Mark, you had a question.
Yeah, I just wondered, what do you think the advantage of putting the garlic in without chopping it and then putting the spinach on top of this?
Well, advantage, I'm not sure, but this is how I was taught by my mother. You know, I always say I cook peasant Italian. You're not going to get real fancy reductions from me or fancy sauces. I leave that to my brother back in Michigan, who's amazing with sauces. Peasant cooking. I just think let the food speak for itself. You're looking at almost 7 minutes and 30 seconds left, but you say you're not really into sauces, but what is this a-moy-gyu sauce that you're making? It's more like a salsa. I mean, you're not going to reduce anything with it. You're just going to throw a lot of ingredients. You'll see, I mean, nothing here is I mean, I'm not doing much of anything
It's not
here.
too fancy.
Yeah, no, you're just, in proportion-wise, I know you gave them on the TV, but honestly...
You're eyeballing everything.
Yeah, eyeball
That's
everything.
Okay.
That's how you...
That's what a
pretty
lot
much
of
do
our
it.
cooks do on the show. Okay, I have to ask you, Judy, about your pine nuts that you are... I mean, there's a lot of oil for the pine nuts. It's almost like a...
Because you're going to use it as a salad dressing.
Okay.
You're going to toss your spinach in here, and it'll be like a little salad dressing.
Right.
And it's very light.
I notice Gina is layering more of the seasonings. And Gail, my friend, what is your question?
Question, is there a difference in the salmon versus Atlantic salmon and Pacific
Yeah, there is a
salmon?
difference. And the salmon that I'm using today is Atlantic. The fresh cod is really good, but I didn't want to have to skin it. So that's why I'm using Atlantic today.
By the way, you have coming up on almost 6 minutes to go, and we have another question from Young MC, or Marvin, I should say. Marvin.
Either or. Thank you very much, Tramp. I wanted to know from either lady or both ladies if they had this recipe set. Was it given to them, or was it something that was trial and error? Because there's a ton of ingredients. And after both recipes, I felt like saying "and a partridge in a pear tree." So I wanted to know if it's something they kind of worked on and then got to where they are right now in terms of how much and what ingredients and that kind of thing.
The truth?
Especially for 10 minutes.
No, lie to me.
The truth is, I got the call saying I was making fish on TV, and in about 30 seconds I said, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'll do some pan-seared halibut over a sauteed spinach topped with a-moy-gyu. That is all.
Yeah,
I mean...
You got the word from your husband. Your husband said, you will cook on the valley.
You will cook on, and here I am.
Yeah, here you are looking at 5 minutes and 19 seconds. And Judy, what about you? I mean, was this a dish that was very common in your house?
Yep.
Or did you make it up for the dish?
I use it a lot because by the end of the day, I don't feel like spending an hour in the kitchen. And this is fast, and I like it. And it's fresh, and it's pretty healthy, I would think.
Right. We're looking at just under 5 minutes, ladies. Now, you are adding, is that
Chicken stock,
chicken stock,
white wine.
white wine.
I put a little olive oil in there after. That one just kind of helps make the sauce that's going to go around the dish.
I was going to say, you're letting a lot of the liquid in there heat up, too. Mark, did you have a question?
I did have a question. The halibut that she's using, is it Alaskan halibut or is it a local California halibut?
You're asking me a trick question. What they sell at AJ's, that's what I bought.
It's Alaskan halibut then.
You know, that's what Gail and I were talking about earlier before the show, too. Where do you like to buy your fish, just out of curiosity?
You know, what are you buying? I shop a lot at AJ's, like, every day for the last 13 years, and I just like what they have to offer. And I know that if you go to other places, there are niches where you can find certain good fish here, certain good fish there. I just... You know, you get to know the butchers, the people in the seafood and the produce, and they all know my kids.
It's a family affair at AJ's.
It's a family affair.
$3.53 you're looking at. Judy, where do you like to get your fish?
I like to get my fish from AJ's, but I also like the signature fries on Tatum and Shea. They're excellent as well.
And what did you just put in the microwave, by the way? I missed that.
A little pesto. I just want to warm it up so it's not quite so hot.
Right.
Or so cold, I should say.
Okay. We are looking at 3 minutes, 30 seconds. You know what's funny? It's so rare, I've noticed, during these competition shows when the chefs or the cooks taste their food. So when you tasted that, I said, you know, we don't see a lot of that. You're adding a little bit of cream. Okay, your question, Mark?
I've just noticed the same exact thing that you noticed, that she's tasting the food.
Right.
And it's huge because I'm watching what she's putting in the dish, and I know that, you know, when you're braising a fish is basically what she's doing right now. And my thought is that she's probably going to put butter in to finish it at the end, but I could be wrong.
Started with butter.
I started with butter.
I was going to say, are you trying to help
The
her out
sauce is going
here?
to thicken up, and she's tasting it, and she knows exactly what she wants for her flavor profile.
Right. Okay, we are looking at just under 3 minutes left. Now, when are you adding your spinach? Do you reserve that to the end? Okay,
right now, just before the salmon is done.
And what a big coincidence that the both of you are using some sauteed spinach. Gail, what's your question?
That was my question.
Yeah.
That they both are using spinach. Evidently, that's a lighter blend to blend with both fishes.
Yeah, I love spinach, and I think it gives a good flavor with this dish.
And you could use rice, too, could you?
You know, I just...
Yes.
Too much, Anthony?
Yeah, that's what I figured. You'd absorb rice, yeah.
Anything?
I just think that it's kind of a meal on the dish. Honestly, I layer it, I serve it, the little sauce around it, and people eat it with a chunk of bread, and they go, that was good. And the last taste is always, they go, oh, this is pretty good. This is good. At the end, it's like, and it's with the bread, and they're not asking for anything else. And that's what I found was the most interesting thing, is that nobody was looking at the table for anything else. They were very satisfied with all that they were getting.
You were looking at just under 2 minutes, and we're looking at 1:40 left. You are very generous with your cheese.
Yes.
And what also, again, is interesting, even though you guys are both using the kind of sauteed or wilted spinach, both prepped in totally different ways. I mean, completely different from each other. You're almost making a little bit of a stir fry.
Yes, I am.
Almost, yeah. And yours is really, really sauteed well. Mark, your question.
I had that same comment. I was thinking. I watched her put the garlic after she smashed it, and then put the spinach right in there, which is rustic Italian. Most Italian people do not chop their garlic. And the other style, which is equally as good, she's just barely wilting her spinach as she puts it in there. So one will be a little more wilted with a less of a garlic flavor, and I think hers is just going to have a little bit more of a garlic flavor.
You want me to plate?
Oh, so good. You know what? You can do anything you want because we have 50 seconds exactly left right now. Obviously, if you are done early, then you can go ahead and plate, and you are cutting up the olives.
These are I call them Sicilian olives, but they're really, I think, referred to as oil cured. Am I correct, Mark? Just in my house, they were called Sicilian olives. A lot of times, if you get them, put a little olive oil, hot pepper.
30 seconds.
And a few seasonings, and you're good.
Okay. Both of you, ladies, are pretty much, you're already getting a head start on your plating, so you're pretty much done, practically. Looking at, coming up on 15 seconds. So cool and calm for being a little nervous, ladies. Not so bad. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done. Plenty of time. Plenty early. Already plating. Folks, the judges are about to affect the rest of your lives. Well, maybe for today. They'll be sampling your salmon and halibut dishes right after the break, and we will be crowning a winner coming up. Don't miss it.